Hey guys, we are Sean and Chrissy. This is Long Long Honeymoon, and today we're coming at you with a great topic, the loneliest road in America. We're going to give you 5 tips for having a great experience. What are we talking about? Well, we received a question from user unpronounceable. Did your mother give you that name? We're taking a trip to Vinny's North Bay Airstream Repair this fall in Northern California. We're considering the loneliest highway, Route 50 across Nevada. Any advice? Did you take it all the way to Sacramento? Any camping recommendations along the route? The loneliest road in America is this stretch of highway known as US Route 50 that runs all the way across Nevada. And it's that section of Route 50 in Nevada that is tagged the loneliest road.
It's also Highway 50, either way you look at it.
We have driven this full stretch across Nevada, and we did it from east to west. Mm-hmm. So we departed from Salt Lake City, Utah, and we got off the loneliest road near Reno, Nevada. Mm-hmm. Is the loneliest road the fastest way across Nevada? Probably not. In fact, we could have taken a faster route if we had traveled by interstate over to California. But I have to tell you guys, I loved this road, and traveling it was really a highlight of our RV travels that year.
Yeah, it was a very peaceful experience. You kind of just drive and enjoy the scenery, and there's no traffic, and, it was pleasant.
Tip number 1.
Prepare for long stretches with no services. So it is the loneliest highway. Pack and prepare accordingly. This means you're going to go long stretches between services. So make sure you have a full tank of fuel when you pull onto this highway. Make sure that your freshwater tank is full. Make sure you've got empty gray and black water tanks in case you get stuck for a night or two that you weren't planning for, that you'll be okay. You do go through several small towns on this highway, so there are places to stop. There's just long stretches between these stops. Most of the highway is a 2-lane highway. You do get some traffic passing you occasionally, so if you were somewhere where you needed help, you might be able to flag somebody down. But again, plan accordingly, have a full fridge, just in case.
Yeah, I would do most of my grocery shopping before I got on the loneliest highway. Absolutely. If you're planning on spending any substantial amounts of time there.
Absolutely.
Tip number 2, very important, embrace the solitude of the loneliest highway.
So here we are on Highway 50, America's loneliest highway. And what strikes me about it, I really feel like I'm traveling, truly traveling when I'm on a road like this. We're out here pretty much by ourselves, and it's just beautiful views out to the horizon in every direction. Yes, it's a little bit desolate, I guess, but you really feel like you're having an experience as opposed to being on yet another interstate in bumper to bumper traffic. This is very enjoyable to travel this way.
This was the big surprise to me. I loved traveling this road because there wasn't really a lot of traffic. Now, we were traveling it in autumn, and I don't know if it's busier in different times of year, but it was really a relaxing, serene experience, actually. The countryside is very beautiful, and I also recall there being more hills and inclines than I expected.
Yes. I was expecting it to be very flat, almost desert-like, and it wasn't really. It wasn't full of trees, but it definitely was very mountainous. There were a lot of hills, curves, and wasn't just this long, straight, boring road. It was actually a very interesting drive. I thought the sunset was really beautiful that we saw when we were driving that road.
By the way, as we watch the sunset here on the loneliest highway, I would have to say that the road quality on this highway overall has been very good. The quality of the asphalt, haven't really encountered any potholes or, massive imperfections and problems with the road, which is more than I can say for most interstates. And so I appreciate that about this road too. That is added to the pleasure of towing on this road.
It was just a really interesting drive, and it was pleasant and peaceful and sort of stress-free, which you don't really get very often when you're towing across the country.
Because it's so undeveloped, the views are even better out to the horizon.
Yes.
Like you really feel like you're having a genuine travel experience when you're on this road. So just embrace that. There are a lot of scenic stops along the way.
We have stopped here briefly at a little rest area along Highway 50, America's loneliest highway. And there are some rest areas up and down the road here. I haven't really seen much in terms of amenities, but I do believe you could camp overnight or overnight park at a lot of these different turnouts if you wanted to. There's not a lot of traffic on this highway, but there's enough that if you had some kind of road trouble, you could flag down a passing motorist. You don't have to wait too long for another car to come past.
For me, when we're towing our RV rig, it's the presence of other vehicles and traffic that often adds stress to the experience. And you just don't experience much of that on the loneliest road. There are some big trucks going up and down the highway. And so, occasionally we might come up behind an 18-wheeler or vice versa. But usually there's a passing lane at some point.
Yes.
And you can see such long distances. It's pretty easy to pass if you need to. So I found it to be a fantastic road to travel with an RV.
All right, tip number 3 is plan for limited cell service. Most of the time when we were driving, we did not have more than 1 bar of service, which, 1 bar is not going to get you anything besides maybe making a 911 call or something like that. We do have Starlink, so that was the difference for us. If we needed to stop, we could use Starlink to make a Wi-Fi call. But yeah, definitely plan for having limited cell coverage. So that means download your maps before you get on this highway to make sure you know where you're going, because you're not going to have cell coverage to download a map. That's why we always recommend using a GPS that is a separate entity besides just using the one on your phone, because if you don't have cell service, your GPS isn't going to work and you're going to be out of luck.
We do travel with a Garmin RV GPS, and we'll put a link to the specific unit that we use beneath this video.
Yes.
Tip number 4 on the loneliest highway: explore the small towns. There aren't a lot of small towns, but the towns along this road have a lot of charm and character.
Yeah.
And casinos.
Yes, lots of casinos. If you like to gamble, you're in luck.
I mean, does anybody really win big in these places? Honestly, I never do. The few times I have ever gambled. Money's so hard to make. I'm pretty careful with parting with it. At least the casino conveniently has this ATM machine where you can deposit all of your winnings. Well, a lot of these towns are old mining towns. Eureka!
In 1/4 mile, arrive at Eureka.
We have arrived at Eureka. And you really get a sense of history visiting these places. It's almost a throwback to the old United States in the 1800s when most of these towns were founded.
Yeah, and I think these towns were founded by adventurous people, because you had to have that adventurous spirit, I think, to go to some place that was so remote. It's not easy to get to. It's still not easy to get to. So I think the people that live there now have to be pretty darn adventurous, just because daily life is so different there than living in a bigger town. You have to plan more. You probably have to know your neighbors really well, because you probably depend on the people around you more. But something that's interesting when you do some research on the loneliest highway, there is like a passport book that you can get stamps in all the different little towns. And then the website has a lot of information with details about each town. And they actually have a free audio tour that you can take. So you can listen to it through your phone or, through Bluetooth on your vehicle and hear specifics about each town as you're driving through. So that's pretty cool. And I think that's on loneliestroad.us.
You really need to take advantage of every small town that you encounter. If you have the time, stop, talk to locals, visit museums, and sort of soak in the cowboy culture.
Now, wait a minute. We could have had lunch here at Big 4. 24 hours. hot ladies, lap dance, and buffet. What do you think about that?
I dare you. Last but not least, tip number 5 is pack for varied weather conditions. So you think, oh, I'm in Nevada. It's going to be the desert. It's going to be hot. Well, depending on time of year, yes. But we were there, like you mentioned, in the autumn. It was still pretty hot during the day, and then at night it got pretty chilly because you're at a higher elevation. We were going through some mountainous areas, which you don't really think about when you think about Nevada. At least I don't.
We've been at more than 7,000 feet of elevation, and there have been several steep grades, up and down. We're going up now. But, you know, you might come to Nevada and you think you're going to be out in just a desert basin, but no, it's actually really hilly and it's really beautiful. But the elevation was a little bit of a surprise to us, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely make sure that you've got some cold weather gear. You've got something a little cooler. Dress in layers is what I would suggest for sure.
So there you have your 5 tips. Now we're going to wrap up this video with a discussion of camping. I'll tell you about a great little campground, the Sacramento Pass BLM campground.
Yes.
This is a very well-equipped campground for all types of travelers. You can park RVs there. You could tent camp there. I guess you could camp in your car there if you want to. And it's free. So here's a look at our campsite last night here along the loneliest highway in Nevada. There are still some things in this world that are free and wonderful, and this is one of them. We have a large, spacious, and well-appointed site. It is an unpaved gravel site, but we do have a little concrete outdoor living space, shall we say, with an awning, a metal picnic table, a grill, and a fire pit on the other side. And here in the back of the site, we have an area designated for tent campers. As you can see, this is a really large site. In general, this is a very beautiful area. And in keeping with the loneliest highway theme, it's a little bit lonely. But I like solitude. And a little bit of loneliness doesn't really bother me. So this is a wonderful place to stop for the night. Total cost for this site, $0.00. Although I suppose you have paid for it with your tax dollars for your entire working life. In addition to the individual picnic tables located at each campsite, this campground has a little community picnic area located right next to the pond in the center of the campground. We even have a wheelchair accessible viewing platform so you can go out here and enjoy the view of the pond. Who knows what critters might be lurking in that water. Beautiful campground, and is located very near Great Basin National Park.
So that means it's on the far east side of the state of Nevada. So plan accordingly if you're going east to west or west to east. And each of these small towns that we passed through, they all did have some sort of RV park, campground that you could stay at. So there are many options along the highway to stop at for the night. So it's just kind of what you prefer.
And for those of you inclined, there's Great Basin National Park.
Yes.
We wanted to do a video about Great Basin National Park, but the government did not want us to. So.
Wah, wah, wah. But tell us, have you ever visited Highway 50? Have you ever driven it? What did you think about it? Is it someplace that you would recommend? Or you just absolutely no way, don't ever drive it again? Let us know in the comments below if it's something you've done, if you enjoyed it, or if you didn't.
Yep. As always, please chime in, post a comment, let us know what you think about the loneliest road in America. Have you ever traveled this highway? What kind of tips can you share with our community? Shout out to user for the great question and comment. We're always scanning your comments for future video topics.
Yes, so please leave some good ones down below. We need suggestions, people. Come on. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family. And until next time, what do we say?
Lo, lo, ho.
I think the ladies are hot because they've been working in the kitchen. It gets hot in the kitchen back there.
You said it, not me.
I'm just saying, I'm sure it is a fine establishment. I support the art of exotic dance.